This is the Autogrid assembly station, and these are the tools you need to assemble your standard plunge frozen EM grids into an Autogrid cartridge. We go over all the tools from right to left. So first of all, you need a couple of standard tweezers, and it is also useful to insulate these tweezers with a piece of tape or cork, because you'll be using them for some while in liquid nitrogen and they get cold, and it will be then difficult to hold it with your hands. So insulation is quite useful to put on your standard tweezers. Then we have a special pair of tweezers that comes with the microscope, and these are Autogrid tweezers, and they are specially built. You can see that the tip is different to grab autogrids. So this tool is used for attaching to the lid that is used on the storage boxes. So these are storage box lids, and you have two forms of it. This one is a transparent one that is used on Autogrid storage boxes, and we also have opaque lids like these that are normally used on your standard storage boxes. Then this is the Autogrid storage box. It's white, and it differs from your standard box by the sizes of the slots in which you can put your grids. Obviously an Autogrid is bigger than a standard EN grid, so therefore the sizes are larger. Also, the numbering that you might be able to see on this box is different than the convention of your standard boxes. Your standard box have a numbering convention of going clockwise from the notch 1, 2, 3, 4. The Autogrid boxes are different. They are numbered 1, 2, 3, 4. So don't mix up your standard box with your Autogrid storage box. The next tools are these tools. They are very similar to a C-clip insertion tool of the Polara, however they are different. So don't mix up your Polara insertion tools with the autoloader insertion tools. So these are specifically made for mounting C-clip rings in Autogrid cartridges, and these tools work like this. So there's a plunger, and this plunger has a central part pushing down, which will push down the C-clip into the Autogrid assembly that we will see in a moment. It's good to have several of these, since after you have mounted one grid, these tools are cold and they get wet and they will freeze up. So once they are used, you can dry them with a pair of hair dryers or a dry stove, but most of the time there's still too much water inside, and when you cool them down again they still tend to jam. So when you are mounting several grids, it is good to have multiple tools that are dry and pre-assembled ready, than to use one tool and keep warming this up in between the different steps. Then you'll have your container filled with liquid nitrogen. So now we show it dry, that has your grids inside that you have prepared with the Vitrobot. You'll need Autogrid ring. So these are the rings in which you will place your EM grid, and then this EM grid is held in place by clicking the C-clip springs inside. So these are C-clips to fix the grid in the Autogrid ring. Now the whole assembly, the Autogrid ring plus an EM grid mounted with a C-clip, is called a cartridge or a Autogrid. Then we have this rotating disc, and this disc fits on the central block of the assembly station. So this is where you will assemble your grids. Be aware that this disc should have this piece of plastic or Teflon that allows it to rotate smoothly. This is the central station in which we do our work, so there will be liquid nitrogen inside here. The central block on which we do our work goes inside here, and then the disc is placed, so there's an opening here that will align with the spring, and then you can rotate it so that the spring will catch on one of these notches to rotate to each of the different working positions. On top of this we have a ring, and this ring has cutouts on the side. This ring goes here, and these cutouts are used for placing your tools, so your tool can rest on the inside cutout in the main station, and then it will rest inside here so you can keep it cool while you're working. If you want to work like this, that is perfectly fine. If you are quick enough, there won't be too much contamination coming in here, and your grids will be very clean. If you want to work even cleaner, you can use this lid. You can place it on top, and you can work with your tools through this opening and basically rotate it to where you need to be, and then place your grids and mount them and clip them. There's also this tool that you can place over here that can hold your tweezers and the tools that you need for operation. And finally, there is a lid that you can place on here so that you can keep the assembly station cold if you need to go away for a short while. Nevertheless, personally, I normally work without this lid. If you get experience, you'll be fast enough and you simply have a bit of more playing space to do it without a lid. Also, when this is filled with liquid nitrogen, there's going to be a nitrogen atmosphere covering the whole working area that also keeps it relatively clean.